Alright, this is the third time I've done this. I'm not getting irritated whatsoever. It's just I've done this at least 3 or 4 times in the last like half hour. And I want to get it done. I want to get it finished. And I want to get this out. So, what's up everybody? Welcome back to a brand new video. Yes, I am still spongepimp. Don't worry about it. If you worry about it, I'm gonna steal your girl. Don't test me. I've done it before. I'm toxic. I could care less. Alright, but going back into the video. That sounded very, very distressing to a lot of people that are probably going to click on this video. But I'm pretty lax 100% of the time, especially when it comes to funk music. This is going to be the November installment of Funk Monthly, because apparently everybody likes the word Funk Monthly over Funk Weekly when I actually ask people. And I actually think it's a really good idea. I think it's a really good name. And yeah, with that being said, let's get right into the video. So before I actually get started with all the tapes and everything else, I do want to say that the reason why I actually started this is because a lot of smaller names are not getting recognized. So an example can be like people in different funk collectives like Fiend World, Masterminds. I feel like I'm forgetting another one. Oh, Center Circle. People in those collectives, in reality, there are a lot of names and there are a lot of people that need to get highlighted because either one, they're underrated, or two, they don't have the following that people that are in other collectives or OG collectives basically have. But this is sort of tying into people that are either new to the genre, people that are getting their name spread out more, and people that I have listened to in the past, I would say month or two, that I think need to get recognition. So first off is Dirt Tape 5. It's a solid, I think, 40 to 50 minutes of just straight up dirt. If you go back to any of the older Memphis, I would say cassette tapes, and you just listen back, it gives you that nostalgic feel that you get when you actually research or you actually look for acapellas or vocals from actual Memphis or Southern rappers. And it sounds a lot more like you're actually getting the actual Memphis feel when you're listening to tapes that are described as dirt. My favorite tracks from the actual Dirt Tape, and I probably have like 5 or 6, but I'm just going to name off 2 to 3 for each one of these, would have to be On a Mission and 12 Gauge. I do want to say for Cushface, it's a great thing that he actually had this album be 40 to 50 minutes. It does get repetitive after a while, but the only thing that I would say is sort of the same concept that I talk to people when they talk about drift funk. If you listen to a certain genre or a subgenre of music, it's going to get old after a while. So it really didn't bother me because I don't listen to dirt on a consistent basis. If somebody listened to dirt consistently on a day-to-day basis, they would say, oh, it's the same thing like every other producer. I would definitely debate that, because if you listen to the same thing, you're gonna get tired of it after a long period of time. So I think it's a great tape. If you have time to listen to it in the background, I highly recommend it, because I actually use it and I actually listen to this tape when I'm either editing videos or when I'm actually just browsing YouTube and I want background music. Okay, next one, Underdogs EP by Blunted and BK, or Bad Kids Good People. I'm gonna talk about live sets, and I'm going to talk about meeting up with him and Pygmalion, or Pygma basically. I like to just say Pygma for short because it's a lot easier for me to remember. I think this is a solid tape. I think this is a really great EP, and it's a good example for people that are getting into now that want to have either the OG feel. And what do I mean by OG feel? I mean people that are in Posse, or people that were in Holy Mob or AP, or anybody that was. If you got to this portion of the video, please tell me if you know who Swisher Boys is. I will be extremely shocked if there's anybody that knows who Swisher Boys is, because I know for a fact I used to listen to them almost every single day. An example of the new generation type style of funk, the mixing is a lot better, it's a lot more cleaner, and the vocals and acapellas sound similar and they sound the same. The only thing is they add on with the Memphis acapellas, they add modern day rapper acapellas when it comes to both transitioning as well as getting to the next portion of either an EP, a tape, or any sort of solo track. Examples of this that I can actually think about would have to be Freddie Confetti, Odd One Out, and Lil Rocket Man. I feel that outside of this EP, if you want to find a discography of people that actually have this similar feel, then these are the 3 people that I recommend. Third one, Recognize the Wasteland by... Why did I not put Cassie B's name in here? Like, I know it's Cassie B, but I'm guessing it's probably because he pops up in my recommended and I see his name so often that it's like, if I see the actual name of the album, I already automatically know who it is. So I think it's a great intro. His solo tracks are really good, especially when it comes to the house rhythm that he's actually bringing for this actual album. The first 5 are really good. His features are really, really, really great, especially the ones that he did with 10 Gauge and Love Some. I'm just going down the line right now. The house tracks are great. I know 2018 is probably the most popular one one from this album right now, but personally my favorite ones would have to be the collab that he did with 10 Gauge and the song that he had with Juplux. I'm gonna leave the last album for the very ending portion of this video because I want to talk about drum kits as well as live shows. Drum kits wise, I've actually haven't used the first drum kit, but I'm probably going to do a drum kit breakdown in the near future, which is Hidden 7 by Pigma or Pygmalion. If you don't want to shorten his name, it's Pygmalion, and I'm hoping that I actually said that correctly, because if I didn't, I'm gonna low-key feel so bad about mispronouncing his name, but I'm just gonna go off of just Pigma. All the sounds that are used are gonna be from the next EP I'm guessing that he's gonna drop. So when it comes to drum kits, there's only two that I recommend currently right now. One is the Hidden 7 drum kit, and the other one is the Phonk Daily Sample Pack Volume 2. I'm gonna talk about Pigma's kit because he's probably the most consistent when it comes to actual kits. This is the 6th kit that he's actually used, and I've ran through almost every single one of these. I recorded most, if not all of the kits when I'm actually going to be breaking them down in the future for future videos. But he's probably the only person that I know consistently has been producing kits or making kits for other people. He's the only person that I know that has consistently, when it comes to dropping EPs, when it comes to dropping albums, when it comes to dropping solo tracks, he's been the most consistent from everybody else that I've actually talked about in this list, the exception of people that are newer to the actual genre or getting introduced to the genre right now. And the second one is the Phonk Daily kit. So you got Lil Rocket Man, you got Vibe Man, you got Lil Problem, and you got 26. All four of these people, I've used this kit consistently. I've been using this kit on and off for, I would say, the last month or two. How long has it been out? Yeah, it's been out for about 3 months. I've been using it for the last month or two. It's free. I'm probably going to put this in the description box below, and I'm actually also going to make a video of this in the future because I know people really want to get free drum kits because the best price in the world is free. So that's definitely going to be something on my to-do list, and that's for the drum kits for this month. Going to live shows, the black box. I'm pretty sure everybody in the last month or two has either seen stories about the black box if they follow anybody that's in the Phonk collective that is a major name. An example of this can be Backwin, Sudier, and Vamp, or DJ Young Vamp. Vamp, Sudier, Backwin, and a lot of other people that I'm probably forgetting. These are the major players or the major people that keep popping in my story almost every single day for the last week or two. These are the people that have been selling out. I'm pretty sure they sold out the black box at least once or twice, because every single time I look at their stories, it's so lit. Like, I really wish I could have went to the black box and actually see them live, but the photos, the videos, just the set and the scenery of everybody that was actually there, it's just crazy. Like, I honestly wish I could have went to the black box. I'm hoping that they actually do like a complete Purple Posse tour, or they have a majority of the actual people that are actually in the collective actually go on tour with them. I know that's probably a long shot because people have lives outside of producing, and people also probably don't have the funds when it comes to that because everybody has a job outside of producing, or they're hustling to get more collabs and more people to listen to their music. Either or, people have lives outside of producing in general, and I understand that it's really logistical when it comes to having everything set up. When it comes to sort of like a Purple Posse show or like a Purple Posse tour, it's very difficult. I know definitely it's going to take a long time, but I'm hoping that from the actual show, the community is able to become a lot closer and a lot more tight-knit. I think it's Robot Fingers or Weary when it comes to the beat circuit. I'm pretty sure like the beat circuit was probably like the last beat circuit that had Cody Valdez. This is off script, but I'm pretty sure the last beat circuit either just happened or it's happening after I post this video. I'm not 100% sure, but I know that this is probably going to be one, if not one of the last beat circuits for a while. I know the lineup is really stacked because they got Cody Valdez on the lineup. The lineup is stacked. I'm probably going to put a post up right now when I'm actually talking about this. I think people from Denver are pretty stacked. People from Texas are completely stacked. East Coast, don't worry about it. We're gonna get our time sooner or later in the future. That's probably gonna be a whole separate video because I know for a fact that we're definitely gonna have something in the future, probably like in the next year or two when it comes to live shows. That's basically everything for the video. The last actual album that I actually do want to talk about is gonna be Hydra or Hydra Main and 10 Gauge, and that is Somewhere South of Hell. I know it's daunting. I know the name is daunting. This album, bro. This album is probably my favorite album to ever drop all year. Another Victim Through an elbow a day keeps the beast at bay. I have those songs in my on repeat, and I've had them in my on repeat since the album dropped. I think it dropped in either the beginning of October or like the end of September. But I've had this album in my on repeats for the longest time. Like Hydra, when it came to the solo tracks and the producing from Tengage, and I'm guessing Hydra helps with the production as well, because I know he is also very keen on helping out when it comes to both the production as well as the vocals and the lyrics as well. Their songs, a large portion of their songs in their discography are extremely repeatable. Like I can go through a large portion of their discography on Spotify and SoundCloud, and I listen to nearly every single song. Like I listen to Leadfoot, Great People, Reap What You Sow, The Mystic. Man, there's so many great songs. My favorite one this I would say last year is A World on Fire. I could go on and on about Hydra and Tengage being probably the best duo when it comes to both production as well as rapping, because out of all the rappers or out of all the duos when it comes to producing or making productions, I'm not 100% sure if there's another duo when it comes to producing and rapping at the same time in the Phonk community that's both consistent when it comes to really great drops, and they're relatable when it comes to the lyrics. I would say they're relatable in my sense because they talk about real life versus people that don't know what they're talking about. They sort of rap about something that's cool, or they talk about something that they can't relate to. But when it comes to Hydra and Tengage, I feel like they rap about things that either they've seen or things that they've lived through. And I feel like that's relatable because you can definitely hear it, versus people that might even be mainstream that rap about guns, rap about killing, rapping about just money in general and women in general, have absolutely no idea what they're talking about. Versus with Hydra, you can actually hear that the stuff that he raps about is real. And that's probably why I'm still a consistent listener, and that's why I'm a fan of him, and I'm hoping that someday he can actually do a live show and hopefully rap some of the songs that he actually released in the last year or two. That's basically all I have for this month. I would say this is probably going to be a longer video versus last month because I had no idea what I was actually going to talk about last month, and this is going to be a little more concise and it's going to be a lot more detailed. But I hope you guys actually enjoyed this video. I'm probably going to be dropping another video in the next 2 weeks talking about live shows as well as other topics that I do want to talk about in the Phonk community, because like I said earlier, I want this community to grow. People say that it's dying, but I personally think if you actually are talking about it, I think I heard this from Pigma. People say that the Phonk community is dying, but they have to realize they literally just talked about Phonk when they were talking about that sentence. So it's far from dying. I personally think that we're still in our infancy. I still think that the community is still in its infancy versus where it was 10 years ago. I know that this community in this genre has a lot more to do, and we have a lot more time to grow and become more mature when it comes to both live shows, when it comes to tours, when it comes to production style, when it comes to almost anything that has to deal with making music or making an impact on the actual community in general. So I hope you guys actually enjoy this. Don't forget to leave a like. This is Spongepimp signing off. I'm gonna go find a MILF. Shout out Young Gravy for that.